see some familiar faces out here, so I know there were two-timers here where people came to both yesterday, our choir and orchestra concert, and also today for our band-only concert. Luckily, this concert is going to be a little shorter because it's only band. You see we have 3 groups playing today. So right in front of you right now is our beginning band here. First, before we do anything, I'd like to ask you to stand up and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Our flag is right there. So if you don't mind, please stand up. You can stand up. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty, thank you so much. You can be seated. So just before we even start fully, I just want to go over a couple of house rules as audience members, but I know because you raised such responsible and respectful students that you already know, but just as a review for everybody, these kids have been working really hard. They've been coming every week, once a week, from class, and working in a small group, and then they missed one of their recesses, either on Monday or Tuesday. And believe me, that is a hard sell, because especially when the weather's really nice, they really want to go outside. When the weather's rainy like it was this week, they're like, oh, Mr. So, can we stay in? Please keep us in. I don't want to go to inside recess. But these guys have been working really hard, and if you could show us the same respect by staying quiet, if you have a little with you, keeping that little sibling or family member with you, that'd be really great. If you need to take a phone call, that's always okay. Just go ahead and take it outside. There's the doors over there. And then come back in if you hear us either talking or you hear a round of applause. Just people coming in and out can sometimes be distracting for me and also them. So thank you for doing that. Phones, we actually have a professional camera all the way in the back. You might see it all the way there. So you don't need to record the whole concert. We're gonna have the whole concert recorded. It's already started the recording, so don't worry about that. Once we get the footage, I'll share it on our Google Classroom and to all of you, so that way you can keep it forever and ever. You might have seen our programs. We have 3 versions of our program today with different artists, which is really great, and I'll announce them in a little second. Our concert, I said, is going to be 45 minutes about, and this is our beginning band. We're going to play a little something just to warm up and get like the nerves out, and then we'll introduce our actual pieces. Kind of get a feel of what the song may sound like and how it can translate and kind of feel like we're singing through our instruments. So that way we really feel the same. This is our last song. It's going to be Lightly Row. The original melody, it's a folk song. It goes, lightly row, over the shiny waves we go. So you'll hear that melody go around, but you might see that it's variations. And it's going to change throughout. And the song, you're going to hear multiple notes being played at the same time. We're going to play harmony with different notes all at the same time. And I gave enough time for our percussionists who have to work double duty, and they have to learn both the bells and the snare drum and bass drum. So they really have their work cut out for them in the band and be really steady. So this is our last song called Lightly Row. such a good job. I was just telling these guys on stage, you guys are such a respectful audience. It's like you could hear a pin drop in this auditorium. You are amazing, absolutely. This is why I absolutely love being part of Monmouth Junction in this community. The beginners are going to do a small change. They're going to put their instruments down and then go sit. Advanced band, you're going to stand up, come up on stage, and set up for our first song. Thank you for your patience as we kind of get our beginners down and with their instruments away so they can sit and enjoy the rest of the performance. This is our advanced band. So these guys have 2 years of experience. Some of them only have 1, but they have kind of put in the work and did. Oh, the speaker's over here. Sorry about that. They put in the work and they really had the experience ready for middle school. So these guys have done a really great job. They're going to play 3 different songs. The last song I'm not even going to announce because I think you should know it. It's a really popular song. The first song we're going to do today is called Valley of the Moon. And it's actually a real valley in Latin America. I think it's around Argentina or Chile. And it's a valley made by a desert right by it. And there's a lot of wind. And you're going to hear the wind sounds. Our students are learning in science about erosion, which happens and kind of over time created that valley. And this is a song about hearing those different sounds that you might hear and it being a little spooky. I see that a lot of our program art took a lot of inspiration from Valley of the Moon. So this one is Valley of the Moon. We're gonna break it up now and we're gonna change into kind of a more pretty piece. In band, especially when we're in elementary school, it's really hard to play slower and pretty pieces. And these guys have done a really great job. This next song is called Soundscape. I always say soundscapes by accident. And it passes this really beautiful melody around the whole band. You'll hear the flutes, clarinets get it, you'll hear the saxophones get it, you'll hear even the Alright, and this is our last song. I'm not even going to introduce it. It kind of plays it by itself, and these guys are super hyped to do it. At each concert, at the spring concert for advanced band, there's been a tradition going on, even from the previous band director, where we do kind of a more popular song or a movie music song. So this one is really, really famous right now, and maybe I'm a little dating myself, and it's like 2 or 3 years from before. But the kids really enjoy it, and it's a really nice, fast-paced song to end the concert. You'll hear the melody kind of in the trumpets and the flutes, and everybody else is kind of going to support everybody. Clarinets, you also get the melody there too, right? All right, here it is. All right, we're gonna do one last transition. Our advanced band's gonna sit, our jazz band's gonna kind of start getting set up, and they're gonna sit in the audience over on this side. And right now, we kind of have a special treat for us because for us, Drew over here is one of our students who also just played trumpet, it's okay. But he also studies privately piano, and he's been doing a really great job at home and outside of school and practicing pretty diligently. So he has 2 songs he wants to share with you right now. And I'll let him introduce it himself.
Hello, I'm a 5th grader from Mr. Dakota's class, and I have 2 songs that I would like to show you on piano. And I've auditioned for it, and I'd like to thank Mr. So for letting me play this song for you guys. So hope you enjoy it. So I think the jazz band would like it a lot.
Thanks so much for your patience while we kind of transitioned there and you listened to Drew play some really cool piano. That takes a lot of extra work on top of what he's doing jazz band and in advanced band on trumpet. So it takes a lot of stuff. And I just want to use that as a note that we have a lot of opportunities in South Brunswick for music. I'm very grateful for this program because you guys support music so much and we love to help your children succeed as much as we can. Speaking of that, if you're a 6th grader next year, so our 5th graders, there is a band camp happening, I believe it's June 7th July 7th to 17th, Monday to Thursdays, and it's where the kids will meet Mr. Struz and Mr. Heffentrigger, the two directors at Crossroads South and Crossroads North, and they'll play a lot harder music, so not even harder than our advanced band. They're going to play middle school repertoire, music that's 2 pages long at least, or maybe even more. And it gives them kind of a catapult into that next year, so maybe they can kind of move up into symphonic band and win symphony faster than maybe some of the other students and have an easier time. If you're a 4th grader and they're just started their instruments this year, I'm going to be running a 4th and 5th grade camp in the summer. That's July 21st to 27th, I believe, Monday to Thursdays as well. It's a great opportunity just to keep your kids playing more. And speaking of playing over the summer, we should keep our instruments, if you can, over the summer while with your rental company. So that way you keep your equity or your savings when you rented your instruments, because each time you pay your monthly subscription for your instrument, you're going to save some of that money, so that way you can eventually buy that instrument and keep it for the rest of their lives. And those instruments are good until high school, all the way until high school, so they can keep that instrument. So that's a great way to keep it. But if you return your instrument this summer or at the end of this year, you end up starting back at 0, which for some people is okay because you need to travel for a long period of time in the summer. This is our jazz band. We meet every Tuesday morning, early in the morning. Ashanti tells me every time, I don't want to wake up for this, but she has a great time playing, and she's a great addition to our jazz band. We learn different styles of music in this group. The first style you're going to hear is actually swing, which is really different than any of the other songs you heard, kind of like Drew's last piece, where the beat changes. So instead of feeling things very even in due days, we're going to actually change the feel, and these guys did a great job. This song is called Basic Cali the Blues, which is a pun, because there was a musician, a pianist called Count Basie. And he had an orchestra, and he's a super famous and prolific, he was a band director of a jazz band. So this is a song in the style of Count Basie.
Mm-hmm.
that is really hard to do. So could you give a little round? Another round. That's really good. Very, very good. These guys have been learning, we've learned different rhythms, and you know what, in jazz band, I tell them, they ask me, Mr. So what is this note? How do I play this note? And I tell them once, and then that's it. I expect them to do it by themselves. Or even sometimes I think, flutes, I said, learn it by yourself, you got it. Look at the back of your book, right? So we're trying to impart on them that they're independent musicians. By this point, they already know what they're doing. Our last song, in fact, they're so independent that I'm going to start them and walk away for a second. They're going to be able to do it by themselves. That's how prepared they are. This is called BB's Power Rock. Before we stop and finish out our concert for the night, I just want to give a couple of things. We have a lot of people to thank for being able to put this on. So first we have to thank the Crossroads South staff, the principal Bonnie Capes, the custodians that help us, the music teachers that helped us during the day, Mr. Coates and Mr. Strudes. All of them allow us to use this big, nice space, so that way we can really just take the kids over here and have a space that's appropriate for them and big enough to house their great talent. Also, we have to thank our Monmouth Junction staff. Mr. Sheesh, who couldn't be here tonight, but he was here yesterday, has been a great supporter of the arts. We have some teachers here as well, Mr. Dakota, Mrs. Knox, Ms. McCallie, and Ms. Quinn over here. Without their support, none of this would have happened either. They helped us so much out with being able to take the kids at certain times to learn their instruments, and also helping out on our field trip today and yesterday. And these guys Monmouth Junction is just a great place to be musically and for the kids. They do absolutely amazing. A little PSA at the end. There's some papers over here for the 5th grade parents and students. You already got some papers from Mr. Heffentrager and Ms. Olson about some supplies you need next year. I have some extra copies over there, and also I have a flyer for my band camp. I'm a little selfish there. But if you would like that, you can feel free to take it at the end. The students will pack up their instruments first, and we'll dismiss over here. So they'll come back after the auditorium. So I hope you enjoy our last song, BB's Power Rock. how impressive, right? I mean, I could literally start, I think sometimes at jazz band, they literally started by themselves, and I was like talking with some other staff members, and they played the whole song by themselves. That's how prepared they are on their concert. I'm very proud of how the Monmouth Junction bands and our music department did this concert season. Last thing, we do have our concert assembly on Thursday, so students will need to bring their instruments in. They can wear whatever they want. They don't have to wear concert black. I, for sure, am gonna be in jeans, I think, and very relaxed. But they need their instruments one more time, and after that, you should keep it home for the rest of the summer and until September, and we can start up again. Fifth graders, can you please stand up if you're a fifth grader? Can we give them a round of applause, because this is their last concert at Monmouth Junction. We will surely miss you, but I know you guys have done such a great job, and you left your legacy on Monmouth Junction and at Crossroads South. So please give us some time to clean up our jazz band. We need to clean up our chairs and stands as well, so clean up your instruments first. So give us a couple of minutes as we clean up our instruments and some of this setup that we have here. Thank you so much.